Podcast. It's the TIZZ TALK Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, back to the TIZZ TALK Podcast. I am your host, but I guess I'll give you a nickel if you can guess my name. Chucktizz. Motherfucker, what'd you expect? I got my co-host on the line. Too woke to go motherfucking broke. Too woke, what's up, better?
Man, not much. Just woke up.
Yeah, I know. You were napping. And I got a returning original guest of this show, and we did one not that long ago. J-Dog Jared, what's up?
What up, Tiz? I did not just wake up. I've been up since 6 a.m.
I've been up since 4 a.m., okay? Trading fucking Doge coin and Ethereum, and I got out just before Doge crashed. Did y'all see that shit today, by the way? Not to get off topic.
Yep,
Nah.
Dude, Doge went from like 30 to like 24 cents in a matter of like 5 minutes.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but I mean, I was like on fire with that shit. And I
Such
sold
fire
at the
you
top.
didn't sleep.
No, that was 2 nights ago, idiot.
I wish
Sorry,
you
what
could
I'm talking
easily.
about.
I wish you could easily short Doge. That'd be fun.
The only way you can short crypto, what I found out is Jared, you can speak on this. You have to do it through an institution. That's the only way.
A lot of the big name crypto firms. There's a guy I follow. His name's Felix Hartman. He's got over like 200 million assets under management. His firm, and they only trade cryptos, but they have the ability to actually short these cryptos through like money makers and
Not like through banks. Like you have to literally go
not
to like
necessarily
a JP
banks, but
an institution, and you have to
smaller
basically
institutions.
you have to basically be like just like
Well,
the
yeah,
movie.
just like any other short, they give you shares, and then you owe a certain amount of,
Well, credit default swaps.
Yeah, they give you the credit, and then you hope that it goes down, and you pay back less money for the same amount of shares.
Right, but you can't do that on any of these regular platforms. You
Well, I know,
have
but
to
you
go
have
to
to
an
set-
institution.
Through some bank
Whatever.
or
Anyway.
asshole.
Right. Yeah. So you can't.
Well, I
like,
mean,
do it on Robinhood.
imagine the fucking mainstream market had access to shorting this shit, it would tank.
If I had access to shorting Dogecoin today, I would have made $1 million.
The other thing that you got to think about is the only people who are truly shorting this, they're not shorting it as a form of like profit. They're shorting it as a form of hedging their other investments. And so a lot of these firms will buy options and then buy options in opposite directions and all sorts of shit to hedge their investments. And it's more of a hedging tool that these big crypto firms use to trade than it is like an actual like source of or big source of income.
Well, I mean, that's smart for them to do that since they're playing with so much money.
Yeah.
Like us retail traders, it's like, like who gives a fuck? I mean, like I wish I had the option to short crypto, or I wish I had the option, but you know what? That's not the point of the show tonight. All I was trying to get at is I woke up at 4 a.m. and I put like $5,000 into Dogecoin. I made like, I don't know, I'm not going to say the amount I made. And then I sold, and all of a sudden I saw it dropping significantly fast, and I got out real quick. And
what I love? You know what I love about Dogecoin is that first of all, that we call it Dogecoin, even though it's a dog.
It's dog shit coin.
Dog e-coin. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a dog coin, a Shiba Inu coin, and then
it's a fucking joke.
It's from a meme
I know,
It's pretty
I know what
popular.
it is. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it would actually be funnier. I mean, it would actually make more sense to be dog e-coin.
I think they should just call it dog shit coin.
I mean, it's a worthless coin. It does no good, you know.
Yeah, because as to we've talked about this. There's infinite amount.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that doesn't necessarily make it worthless. Like, I mean, there's an infinite amount of dollars that can be printed, yet we all use them. You know what I mean? So it's like,
no, I understand. I get the comparison.
In some ways, the infinite amount of it could actually lend hand to its credibility as a currency long term.
Well, I think at the end of the day, this is just all hype and meme. And when it gets to like one of those like milestone, price points, especially $1, it's going to sell off and it's going to sell hard. So it's not going to come back.
I agree.
So
majorly.
there's this is related to crypto, but
damn it, I didn't want to get in. I really didn't want to get into.
No, this is interesting. This is interesting.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Have you ever heard of Roobet?
No.
It's a very, very popular online casino, and it's legal due to the fact that you don't actually wager USD, you wager cryptocurrency. And so the laws actually can't restrict Roobet from operating. And so you can transfer either Bitcoin or Ethereum and play all sorts of slot machine games. They have live dealers on
that's
blackjack.
like mybookie.com.
Yeah, really.
Or mybookie.ag. It's the same shit. You can do it.
But there are people who make a living off this shit. There's one guy I don't know if you heard of Steve Will Do It or the Nelk Boys, but they're this like popular group of like mid 20-year-olds that party and like put prank videos on YouTube. One of their guys, Steve Will Do It, like became famous because he'll literally do anything that's related to like chugging or like drinking or even smoking. He's an animal. He'll do all these challenges where he like chugs 2 giant handles of vodka in like under 2 minutes, or he'll have like 12 glasses of wine in like under 10 minutes. Like, this dude's an animal. And he doesn't really make money off YouTube because his shit's so fucked up, like that YouTube essentially doesn't pay him, and he's getting.
So it's not monetized. He's not monetized.
He's not monetized, bro. He gets 10 million views and over like 100,000 likes or more on each video.
Well, that is the dumbest thing. Why is he not?
Because he's restricted. He's restricted because they don't like they're more liberal leadership at YouTube does not like the stuff that he does, because he does a lot of fucked up shit. Like, he's pretty racist and shit. But
it makes me think twice about putting TIZZ Talk on the YouTube platform now.
Oh no! So one of my friends, Taylor, they started a podcast. It's my friend's brother and his dad, and they literally had 100 listeners, and then they posted some clips of their podcast to TikTok, and they blew up overnight and had 100,000 followers the next day.
Well, that's TikTok. I said
YouTube. Listen. No, but they're also on YouTube. They're on YouTube. They're on every platform, TikTok, everything, right? But these guys, they have like 300,000 on TikTok, and TikTok is just like YouTube and the whole like monetization thing. So if you have over a certain threshold of followers on TikTok and views per like month, you can apply for the TikTok Creator Fund. And if you do apply, they essentially pay you per viewership. And these guys got accepted, and then they reviewed the stuff they were actually talking about, which the dad is pretty based, like exposes, like doesn't trust the government whatsoever, like very, very anti-government. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm also very.
No, he's an extremely successful lawyer from Miami. Like, this guy has made.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not a Q-tard. Is he a Q-tard or?
What's a Q-tard?
QAnon.
I don't know what a QAnon is.
You don't know what QAnon is? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I've actually heard that a lot. One of my friends said that to me the other day.
Dude,
Q is.
Where have you been for the past 12 months?
Come on, man.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a QAnon. That's why I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's the opposite of Antifa in a sense. And
so it's basically an internet forum that basically started as a complete joke, and had multiple people running it for like, it was on 4chan, right? And it was like a bunch of conspiracies. And then as Trump, like the campaign started, kicking off, basically people started releasing these like deep state conspiracies under the guise of they had some secret people in the government feeding them information. And some of these conspiracies were extremely off the wall and retarded. And there's about,
Like
I'd say
what?
about
Give me an
4
example. Because I actually do believe in a lot of these conspiracies.
There's about 4 to 5 million.
Well,
people
when you
who,
have
like-
like two, wait, conspiracies, Jared. The biggest conspiracy in the world is just watching the fucking news.
Well, I mean, yeah, but have you heard of Project Veritas? Do you know do you know who they are?
Nope,
It's
never heard.
It's this guy who started kind of an undercover operation where he actually had a CNN employee listening or working with him and was recording all of their morning meetings with the chief management at CNN, and they were
What
talking
does that
about,
have to do with? what we're
listen.
talking- Sorry.
And so there were a lot of like. This is something along the lines of what this guy from TikTok who I'm talking about would say, and he would subscribe to this. But like, essentially, these meetings, they were talking about how like they couldn't say certain things because it doesn't go with their agenda, and this and that. Basically, admitting that they don't really report the truth; they just report
that's
along
not
the
even a
lines of.
conspiracy. That's just
I understand.
well known.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people drink the Kool-Aid. And I guess just what I would say is that there's a lot of distrust that this guy has. But
So
continue.
QAnon is, let's stick on one thing. QAnon, their basically belief is that the government is run by like Satan worshiping cannibalistic pedophiles, and they run a global sex trafficking ring. And
I've heard some stuff into that though.
And Donald Trump was the only one who could stop it.
Wow.
That's what QAnon
Is he is that the
There
is
are a
he
lot of
really-
pedophiles
is he-
in government.
Wait. Is Donald Trump the only one that really can stop it?
No, Donald Trump, here's a factoid for all you Q-tards out there. Donald Trump actually indicted less sex traffickers per year, slightly, than Barack Obama per year. So put that in your fucking Kool-Aid and drink it, because he literally prosecuted less sex traffickers per year than Barack Obama. So explain that.
So
Have you heard this stuff though about how they've been? I don't know if this is-
Jared. So what you're saying is as much as I don't like Trump, but as much as I don't like Biden or Obama or anything, is what you're saying is Trump was actually doing something right with that.
Well, he did a decent job, like compared to like Bush and compared to previous presidents. Like Obama really ramped up sex trafficking arrests compared to any president previous to him. So yes, in a way you could say, yes, Trump did a decent job, but the way that these Q people talk is like nobody gave a fuck. And Barack Obama was one of the main ringleaders of eating children's brains for their, what was it called? Adrenochrome.
God, eating children's brains.
Yeah,
What?
so they would say that they would torture these kids and their adrenaline would be rushing, and so they would like fucking drink their blood while their adrenaline's pumping, and it's called a substance called
The
adrenochrome.
actual fuck?
You know what?
That's a joke. That's a joke, right? Is that a
I
joke?
No, millions and millions of people believe this.
I think the funniest
Oh my,
thing of all
my
of it-
dear fucking Lord! What the shit?
Yes, and don't get me wrong. I agree. There are international sex traffickers. We know.
Oh
this.
no, I know that, but the drinking of the blood of the brains of children, like what the?
But you can't take just multiple facts. Like, yes, there's some creepy people in the government. There's creepy people all over the world, and and a lot of elite fools have all kinds of weird fetishes and shit they're into. They're fucking bored and they run the world and they got a bunch of money. So any of their creepy shit they want to do, they can kind of make happen. So,
Hey, why do you think these politicians are so rich?
Foot fetish.
Like the ones that have worked in government their whole lives. Why do you think they have so much money?
Well, there's a few reasons. For one thing, you have to be rich to run a campaign most of the time. So most of these people come from rich families.
I'm saying if they're the ones that don't.
Secondly,
speak the truth. Speak the
they're
truth.
allowed to insider trade, many of them, so they get all sorts of tips and tricks. And plus, they get paid. A lot of these people get paid like tens of thousands.
So
how's a rapper rich? He gets to go do shows.
So like how Pelosi's, trying to push this Green New Deal and is investing in green energy like that, huh?
Yeah, things of that nature.
But that's not considered insider like trading.
Well,
I mean,
it's technically not, but it's almost even more advantageous because they're pushing the policies that determine what companies will thrive. And
Nancy Pelosi, in my opinion, can suck a dick, and my dick especially.
But I
bet Nancy blew every single senator in the entire fucking United States. Honestly,
I'll never forget when that bitch ripped up that fucking speech of Trump's.
QAnon, yeah, that was hilarious. But here's the thing about QAnon that's so stupid is that they believe in the right wing and say that the left wing's doing all this shit. It's like, dude, they're all the same people. They're all the same team. They all know each other. They all know what each other's into. So you can't just sit there and believe that all these fucking whacked out Republicans aren't just as crazy as all the whacked out Democrats. Like,
wait a minute. No. I got to stop you. What did I say a million times? It's not Democrats and Republicans. It's Bloods and Crips, motherfucker.
Exactly. And so if they want to say Donald Trump, okay, fine. Like you could maybe make the claim that he is an outsider to all these people, even though 60% of his cabinet was people that were straight up appointed by the Koch brothers. But okay, yeah, he's an outsider.
Koch brothers,
AKA the Koch brothers. Like I know who the Koch brothers are, but like, cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just like, these people are crazy imbeciles, and they'll say,
their office is like 1 block away from my.
Well, they'll say that the mainstream media is all fake news, but then they all watch Fox News until the very end when Fox News kind of turned on Trump. Then they're like, oh, we hate Fox News too. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's like, what don't people need to quit? They need to understand Fox News is mainstream media. Like it's just as big as CNN. You know what I mean? So, or
CNBC, anything that you watch on mainstream media. I can't say this enough. I want to say this one more time. You don't rely on that shit, TIZZ fam. Like, don't just listen to the fucking news, Fox News, CNN. I don't give a fuck. Like, use it as a baseline and just go do your own homework.
Yeah, I think if you can't read opposition, if you can't read news from the opposite side of yourself and take it as at least A, entertainment, or B, use it as a game to read between the lines and see what agenda each side is pushing, that's how you read news. You want to always, even if you agree with what they're saying, look at the agenda that it's trying to push on you, and then you can at least see how they're trying to manipulate you, what information they're hiding and what they're showing you. It's all a magic trick.
Well, they get paid. They get paid. These news outlets get paid to say the things that they say. If they don't say the things that they say, then they're gonna get fired.
Yes.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is why they call them too woke to go broke.
Yeah, it's too woke to go motherfucking broke is what I say.
But yeah, it's like you got to read between the lines and understand that no matter where you're reading the information from, very rarely, everyone has bias. We all do, but very rarely is somebody even trying to actually present like neutral information,
That doesn't exist anymore, man.
No, unless you just put straight numbers on a screen, and even numbers can be very biased because
even the internet's fucked these days.
How did you gather these statistics? What are the, like people need to realize that too. When science or a poll or this or that comes out, numbers can be skewed. And what is the percentage of?
Perfect example. Look at fucking. Okay, TIZZ fam. World O meters. WORLDOMETERIS.info, and you'll see the coronavirus information. China stopped reporting deaths like over a year ago.
Yeah, I'm sure they stopped.
No, they did. They did.
YouTube,
Look it up.
Instagram, Twitter are all banned in China as well.
What I'm getting at
it's
is like it's like China is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship, and they have the right to report whatever the fuck they want.
I'll tell you what is funny about
Fucking Xingping or Pingjing or
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of these guys, not Twitter so much, but Facebook and Instagram especially, the Zuckerfuck, all of his media. He's gonna be a victim of his own success because he's monetizing so hard that I think he's losing the culture. You know what I mean? Like Instagram.
Man, if I had a chance to fucking see that guy in person, I would super kick that dude to Jupiter because he's so fucking stupider.
Wait, he's monetized his platform so hard and changed the algorithms just to make money that I do believe that he will be dethroned by other social medias over the next like 10 years. And
it's dying.
TikTok's a major example of that. You see, because it's Chinese, and the Chinese don't give a shit about selling fucking ads on there. They care about.
Speak on that a little bit. Wait, it is Chinese owned still? I thought it got sold to an American company. I thought Oracle or
no. Trump was just fucking talking shit, man. He didn't make them sell.
So it's still a Chinese owned application.
Yes, those deals fell through.
Yeah, he was never serious. He was just trying to bluster, like he does. And that was stock manipulation at its finest.
Bluster,
it's pretty entertaining
because he has an orange face. He's blustering.
He made a lot of people a lot of money.
He was
speculative trading and shit.
He manipulated so many stocks from fucking pharmaceuticals to fucking Oracle to all kinds of stocks. He would just say things and watch the stock pop.
Ford, GM, all the fucking manufacturing of cars, American companies
But the problem is the president's not supposed to be there for entertainment, and I don't care. I'm not a Trump hater. I'm not
a Trump hater either, but I'm not a Trump.
His economy was booming before COVID, though.
Oh God.
Okay, well, I will never forget when he was basically about to lose the election. He came out and said the Dow hit 30,000. Now it's at 34,000.
Exactly. And is anybody saying, "Wow, look at Biden's economy"?
Yeah, exactly. It's like Trump, shut the fuck up.
Biden is a Republican though.
He is. He's basically Ronald Reagan, except for that he's pro-abortion. That's pretty much the only difference in the two.
But it doesn't matter. They're all puppets anyway, guys. You know this. We all know this.
Yes, but it's just. But Jared does make a good point. A lot of people that claim to hate Biden and say they love Ronald Reagan. It's like, well, then why don't you fucking love Biden, except for Second Amendment and abortion?
Because he fell down the stairs on the plane because he's sleepy and
that's my favorite thing about these. That's my favorite thing about the MagTard crew right now too, is they're like, Biden's fucking
Kamala's gonna take over. It's all
Biden's senile. And I'm like, well, he fucking beat Trump in those fucking debates. I don't like the guy. I don't like Joe Biden.
Who was who was very unhappy about all that? Miss Cheeks. She was so MagTard retarded.
Oh, I can see her being
Miss
a little
Cheeks and Jared, Miss Cheeks. You know who Miss Cheeks is.
Oh yeah, I actually talked to Miss Cheeks like 3 hours ago.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
No,
I was just saying hi.
Okay, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that.
We should.
No, we can't get into that.
We're not going to talk about that. But Miss Cheeks is such a magtard. She was driving around Matagorda in her boat with a Trump flag back last July. Woohoo! Trump! You!
Hey, when I was in Florida, helping a family friend move out of their house in Destin, the guys in the house next to them had a crazy boat. They have like fishing tackle company money. Like Strike King Lures was the company that this guy's dad started, and they have like a small yacht parked in front of their house, and we took it to Guinness World Records was there to a Trump boat parade. And it was
Is that in
they were
Florida?
counting no in Destin, Florida.
Oh.
And the guy who's the brother of the neighbor rented out a warehouse and bought all the Trump merchandise he could get his hands on, and then had like 4 boats patrolling the area.
See, that's
like
the
floats
dumbest thing
with, like,
I've
Trump,
ever. It's like,
with like Trump merch on it, and he
but
offloaded
that's
all of
just
his
so
supply.
stupid to me. It's like who, like, that's so stupid. That's
Well,
so
look.
dumb.
Well, that's the thing. It was all identity politics, and
Not
like here's
because
my
it's
thing.
Trump. It's like that's like, okay, who's your favorite rapper? Buy that rapper's merchandise. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like, don't like go buy a bunch of magtard shit. Like, that's
Dude, there is this is a large. There's I would say there's over 1 million people. Okay, and I think well over 1 million people.
I was gonna say probably like
That-
50 million.
that believe that Trump was sent here by God directly. I'm not
God.
kidding.
Oh
I
God.
mean, dude,
You mean the sun?
he didn't
My
really. You
God.
know what?
No, the sun. Because I don't
Have you
believe
ever-
it.
Have you ever seen that documentary
because my
on
God
Trump's
is
career
the
in
sun.
real estate? You
No,
know
but
what
I know
Trump did
about
in
him.
real estate, bro?
Yes, all I know is
Push
Trump
people around to do every single fucking thing for him,
Trump,
you know?
Trump
Yeah.
drove.
He was given a ton of money to work with at the
Trump
beginning.
drove
you know?
in Atlantic City the Taj Mahal to the ground back in like 2000.
He's
He's a
here's what
pretty
I'll
fucking
give Trump.
comical guy, though. I fuck with that. He's pretty.
No,
funny.
he's hilarious. But Trump. Here's what Trump is great at. Okay,
He's also
He
a
is-
fucking idiot.
He's a branding genius. Okay, he's a branding genius. There's no denying that. He
I'm
knows
not
how
going to
to.
disagree.
He is a
with you on
brand
that.
himself.
Well, that's yeah, that's what
but
I mean.
he's also a fucking
He's
idiot.
he's not the best businessman, but he is one of the best branding minds out there. Now he may have a team behind him making it happen. I don't know.
He's got
but-
fucking millions of people that follow him. Of course, he's got the support.
But I'm just saying, from the beginning, he's been good at touting his name and creating this brand, and then he shifted that from somehow being an East Coast New York Democrat to the fucking messiah of the right wingers, you know, by just telling them what they wanted to hear. And here's the thing on Miss Cheeks is, you know, I'll talk to anybody about anything. I actually really enjoy talking to a lot of like diehard Trump supporters. But if they can't tell me who paid the tariffs, I don't listen to anything else they have to say, because what that proves to me is that they
Yeah,
don't
well, you
know.
need to tell. We talked about this on the last one. Explain to J Dog over here about how these tariffs work.
So
if
the
you
tariffs were taxes on American.
I know a little bit about how this works, but I'd like to hear. I assume we took the L, but just please explain.
Well,
So
no, it's not that we
basically-
took the L.
No, we
It's,
took an L. We took an
Well,
L.
we
The
took
party
an
that
L,
believes.
but
I'll explain.
Quote
Okay.
Trump's tariffs, by the way.
So
No.
Trump's tariffs, and they were 100% Trump's tariffs. He said, and he told all of his followers specifically, and he said it many times, that China was paying the tariffs. Even after the tariffs had started, he kept making the claim, oh, China's paying us billions of dollars in tariffs. Here's the sad truth about it, is China paid 0 cents in tariffs. What tariffs do is they tax the American importer on Chinese good, not the Chinese exporter, the American importer. So say I want to get some light bulbs from China. China doesn't pay the tariff. I pay it when it hits American soil. That's who pays the tariff. So American companies paid every single penny of that tariff, and it just got passed straight on to the consumer. So the party that believes in free enterprise and free market supported a tax on American companies in order to stick it to China, which I would argue that China actually had probably the best 4 years it's had in a long, long time in terms of catching up to America.
And just
Oh,
to harp,
shit,
to,
bro.
wait, to harp on that, they are. I mean, we have some trouble here. They're the next They're like so close to being the next superpower country.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
they're
think,
already there.
yeah,
They might be.
it's a fine balance. I mean, look, here's the thing: is I think what we're entering is like the new Cold War, which is like, oh, let's like all be scared of China, and China will talk shit about us.
But don't
You hear
forget
this
about
shit with Russia?
Don't forget about Russia. Exactly.
Well, Russia's the actual bee's nest. I think that what we find with China is that we're actually more intertwined than either country wants to admit, and both reliant on each other.
Oh yeah.
You know, that between China and Japan, they're our biggest debt holders always. They're always very close, neck and neck. So China doesn't want the American dollar to crash. That's why they purposefully keep their dollar low, because it makes it better for an exporter to have your money be worth less than the money you receive for payments.
But you've heard about China's investments in Africa?
Oh, yeah. No, I know. They're setting themselves up for the long haul. And see, that's why China has the advantage. I mean, I believe in democracy, but when it comes to two countries over 100-year period, sometimes having one person in charge that can actually steer the ship is more effective. America has to take a left foot, a right foot, a left foot, a right foot.
We are no longer the superpower. We are not.
No, we are. We're still the superpower.
Well, okay, we are, but we're on the cusp of not being.
Well, here's my thought process is like, who benefits the most off of a growing middle class? Well, everyone kind of does, but the elite get to bleed the middle class. That's who they get to fucking make all the money off of, is the middle class, you know? And so America's
they got the
middle
money
class
to spend. They got
America's
that disposable income.
America's middle class is very stagnant, if not shrinking. And China is just now growing the middle class. So if you're an elite person, I'm talking worth, you know, billions and billions of dollars, you control industry, you control raw materials, you know, the real puppeteers at the top, they are going to be more likely to start pushing their bias, if you will, towards supporting China, because long term, to take their family into the trillionaires, you know, status over the next, you know, 20 years is going to be from China, not America.
Absolutely. I agree with that statement 100%.
And so that's the real dirty secret is, you know, just like all these companies played both sides during the fucking World War II. You know, they don't give a shit about people or who's getting killed. They only care about who's going to win. That's who they want to back.
Exactly. You know? But America's the same way.
Yeah, well, yeah, but America's just corporations. That's what the world is nowadays.
No, I mean, but wars change so much. Look, we're not going to have a World War III. If we have a World War III, it's going to be cyber attacks.
Well, that's why it would be like an extra Cold War. It'll make the fucking Cold War in the 70s.
They can fucking shut down power grids, dude.
No, I know. We've talked about this. It's fucking crazy.
But you know,
really is.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, you know, I hate to harp on Trump because it's the same on the far left. Like the far left people want all kinds of crazy shit nowadays, and we're just gearing towards this time where we're just going to get further left and further right, and
we're going to get more bloody, or we're going to get more crippy.
Yeah, we're going to get crippy, we're going to get bloody, and that's it.
Because honestly, I don't believe in this Democrat Republican shit anymore. It's gang war out here now.
What was that? You know who said it perfectly? It was fucking Team America, the South Park guys. He's like, there's dicks and pussies, and and assholes.
I haven't seen that one, but
it's so good. He's like, see, pussies don't like dicks because they get fucked by them, but nobody likes assholes because dicks fuck assholes, and then everybody's got shit on.
That's fucking
Wait, dude, I need to watch that. I've literally been hardcore like binge watching South Park the past 2 weeks, but I haven't.
Have you seen
that one.
Have y'all seen the? First of all, there was the pandemic episode, and then there was the vaccine.
Vaccine special, yeah. I thought that one was pretty shitty.
I thought it was fucking funny.
I
don't even watch South Park. I just watched
season 8 through like 14 or that period. And
don't get me wrong,
way funnier.
I'm a big fan of South Park and all that shit, but I just finished watching The Sopranos for the third time all the way through. The whole series. I just finished it. Best show ever. Best show.
In my opinion, best show of all time. Yeah.
Best show of all time. And actually Snowfall, which I've said before, they just had their season 4 finale. Great show. You guys got to watch it.
What about an older show too, Entourage?
Well, I mean, I've seen that shit made.
It was okay. I mean, I wouldn't call it a great show.
Okay, Californication was better than Entourage because I love fucking what's his name?
Mulder.
David McCauley Hay, or what the fuck his name is. He's just like a Scotch drinking degenerate who fucking
David Duchovny.
Yeah, and he's like the best, like he just the Californication, TIZZ fam. Watch that shit. It's great. But Snowfall is a great fucking show.
Snowfall's good, but it lacks a lot to me. Like it doesn't have the comedy.
Have you watched the new one? The new season?
I'm 1 week behind.
Okay. I haven't watched the last episode yet. There's the last episode, season 4, episode 10. I have not watched it yet, but it is one of my favorite shows. I
like how I like how it's a historical fiction. That's what I do like.
Yeah, it's like a true story.
Yeah, basically. I mean, not quite, but it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what I mean, though.
It's based around real events, that took place. They've just put characters in place to paint the strokes, basically. So.
But honestly, besides The Sopranos and stuff, one of the best shows ever is The Wire.
Yeah, dude, The Wire's sick.
I love season 1 and season 2, but that show to me, it gets kind of boring after season 2, man.
It does, and I understand what you're saying, but it's the most realistic show.
Yeah. And it still has like really good moments, like from the season 3 till the end. Like there's some moments where it's just like, oh shit, like when Stringer Bell gets killed and
Stringer Bell is like the man.
Well, he kind of sucks too, though. But yeah, you're right.
Until what's his name took over. I forgot his name. It doesn't matter, but it's a great show.
Well, Stringer Bell's also like a little snake, and he ends up getting bitched around because he tries to be too legit of a businessman.
I mean, he went to class to learn about business and all that shit. But yeah, no, Sopranos #1 in my book all day.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, The Wire season 1 is up there with the best seasons of all time.
Yeah, no, agreed. Sopranos, though, is, in my opinion, the best.
Sopranos is like one of the few shows that gives you everything. It gives you comedy. It gives you drama. It
shows you
violence.
Really what like new age mafia life is like.
Yeah, and it's like a family show, but it's a mob show, and it's a comedy, and it's a drama, and it's like high intelligence, like
it's just so good. It's so
and then
good.
It'll give you like stuff that's like kind of witty and smart, and it'll give you stuff that's just like base level fucking like caveman. You know what I mean? It's fucking awesome.
Dude, my favorite character is Uncle Polly.
Yeah, Paulie's great, man. I love Sil. I love the whole crew.
Well, Sil's the man too, but when he has Uncle Polly, like he's just he, with his attitude, like I don't know.
What did you watch it on, Taylor?
Well, it was on HBO, but I can watch it on my free website that I watch on FF Movies.
Oh, I got HBO.
Yeah, watch that shit on demand. Start it from the get-go, dude. And understand that when I was a kid, I loved Sopranos too, but I usually didn't really like the scenes with the therapist. Now that I'm like older, dude, the therapist scenes are like
sense.
Dude, they're so funny. Dude, it's the fun.
Well, that's the whole point. That was because I read on this. It's like it's modern day mafia shit, and Tony Soprano goes and talks to a fucking therapist, and he was petrified about even admitting that because in that world, like that could get you killed.
Yeah,
spilling the details to anybody.
but the irony of of some of the shit he says with the therapist, dude, it's just so funny, dude.
And he tries to fuck her like so many times.
Yeah, he always wants to bang her and shit. Yeah, dude, it's just so funny, man. Like some of those scenes, it's just like, man, this shit is genius.
It's the best show. It literally is the best show ever. Literally. I mean,
and what's so cool is like, it's kind of a shame for fucking James Gandolfini, but I mean, it seemed like he fucking lived that role, dude, because his health went down.
James Gandolfini, man. I mean,
his fucking health went downhill.
Have y'all ever seen The Mexican? The movie The Mexican with James Gandolfini?
The old one or the?
Yeah. No, with Brad Pitt and James Gandolfini and Julia Roberts. 2001.
No, I've seen the original.
Oh, dude. I mean, that's another great fucking movie. You need to watch it.
Was it good? I thought I kind of remembered that being a shitty movie, but okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like that movie. It was a great movie. It's a different type of movie, but like it's good.
Okay.
But Jared, watch the fucking Sopranos if you've never seen it.
I have seen. I think I started to watch it like a couple years ago.
You just gotta die.
I haven't locked in.
You just have to lock in on it. That's it. But
lock in on that.
TIZZ Talk. This is not the point of the show. Went on a tangent. That's the best part about the show. So we get
or organic. Is that the point of the show?
Well, I don't know what the point of the show is. The point is I love going on these organic tangents because sometimes that's the best thing. But what I want to say is, I'm not going to get deep in my family shit. But, as I've said before, for the past almost 12 months now, I've been dealing with shit with my family, and it's all starting to come together now, man. It really is. And I'm really happy about that.
Patience, man. Just keep doing your thing. And
that's the thing is like, it's, I could say everything I want, but it's not about what I say. It's about the actions, right?
Yeah. Which that's life, that's life right there.
Right. Of course. And too, I talk to you about everything and shit's popping. And also TIZZ fam, let me tell you something. If you're a fucking 1099 independent contractor or like anything like that, file for your PPP loan and just do it.
I think it's too late. I think it's out of money.
Well, if it isn't, try at least because you'll get free money. The government is literally printing money. Take advantage of that shit.
Yeah, I agree. I
just had to say that.
Yeah, go look into it.
I did it, and I got paid. I'm not gonna say how much I got paid, but it was, it was over 10 grand. So, I mean, and that's just
and you pay zero interest too, huh?
Well, it can be forgivable.
So you pay zero interest.
Well, no, you don't even have to. As long as you pay payroll with it, you don't have to pay it back.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You pay no interest.
No. You don't even pay it back.
No. That's if it's forgivable. If it's not forgivable.
Oh shit! There's no Brits applied.
No, you're not listening. It's a 60. Hold on. It's a 60-month payment plan at 1% interest.
So what? Could you expense this shit to your living if you lived like?
No. If you work from home? Yeah, exactly. Yes. If you can prove to them that everything that you spend the money on is for your business, it's forgivable.
Which anybody who runs their own business can use it as payroll or whatever you need to. I mean, it's.
You could pretty much do a lot of shit with that. Like,
and on another note, and I'm not going to say too much, but like if you're struggling, file for unemployment. The government is printing out so much money. Take that shit.
Yeah, I mean, come on, take the money and run. I mean,
exactly.
Look, collect the stimmy and throw it all in fucking Dogecoin. All of it.
No, the stimmy was in my bank account and gone in a day.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, if you do have some extra
Buy a
funds,
PS5 with your stimmy.
if you got a little, if you're doing okay, you know, and you don't have to buy fucking milk and diapers and shit with your stimmy, YOLO that shit, man. Put it into a YOLO bet or two and fucking see if you can hit something, man.
What the fuck do you think I did with my PP
You're playing
loan?
with the house's money.
I put it in Ethereum and Doge, and I made like, you know, almost a K just yesterday.
You're playing with the house's money, and it's not just the house's money. It's the fucking house of the house's money.
No,
it's the fucking government's money.
No, it's the TIZZ's money.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just, you know.
Anyways, all right, guys, check this out. It is time to go over some of the headlines of the week. You know, ready for this?
Yeah, what's number one?
So, title of this article: watching Black people die every day is not normal. Let me continue.
Can you put that into a little context?
Yeah, let me continue. Richard White's recent unearthed masterpiece, The Man Who Lived Underground, is a reminder there is no counter programming for black people. Every Friday, this is quote unquote, I try to make sense of the most controversial entertainment news of the week. This week, there was nothing more all-consuming than awaiting the verdict of Derek Chauvin's trial. Admittedly, no part of me wanted to keep up with the public spectacle of watching a broadcast trial. We have been reminded about the final moments of George Floyd's life since last night. And I mean, dude, I could go on and on and on.
Hang
and
on. I know why. I mean, I personally, like, I never thought I would like actually be watching that trial, but I was watching it. Like, I was like trying to figure out when the verdict was going to be made for one reason. And that's if people were to start looting the grocery store across the street, I'm stealing all their beer.
What kind of beer you stealing?
All of it.
So he did get charged with.
And then I'm gonna I'm gonna sit down on the couch and turn the riots on the TV with the stolen beer I just stole.
Chauvin got charged with second and third degree murder and manslaughter. And I thought, honestly, he was just gonna get charged with manslaughter and all hell was gonna break loose. But he got charged.
I kind of did too.
Right. But he got charged with second and third degree murder and manslaughter.
Which I don't see how that's, I mean, I'm not complaining necessarily, but how can you get charged with multiple counts of murder with one person? That's the only part I didn't even know was possible.
I'm not going to say I disagree with you. I honestly think I thought it was just going to be a manslaughter charge. And I didn't think that was
possible.
I think the reason they did that is because like there's probably other cases that have been convicted on the same charges. And so it's a little easier to like or see what precedent there is for that specific sentencing of like a crime along those lines.
They had to make an example. It was like the fucking OJ Simpson shit all over again.
Well, I hear you, but I'm just saying, like, it seems like a weird precedent to set. Like, if I got in trouble for something, or you got in trouble for something, I don't kind of like the precedent of just being able to throw 5 different charges at somebody and that are all related to the same crime. Like, it'd be one thing if it's like a rape.
The thing is, though, is that
they do.
He did murder that guy. That was murder.
He did. I'm just talking about precedent. Like we get too focused on one case, you know, where we want a certain outcome, but just think.
And the one thing that nobody on either side can deny, though, is that at least to some degree, Chauvin did not face a fair trial in front of a jury.
Sure, he's already filed for appeal.
Yeah, I think it should go before the Supreme Court, especially something of that magnitude. If there's a case that every news site and every small news site is live streaming, it needs to be in front of the Supreme Court. You know,
I think I was surprised he was charged with the murder cases. I thought it was just going to be manslaughter, but you know what? He did kill that guy.
Oh yeah, and he pulled him out of the police vehicle. So there's no excuse for what he did. But I agree, it's hard to.
As of what the charges are now, he deserves it.
But it's just a weird. I didn't know you could get charged with second, third, and manslaughter for the same crime. Like, it seems to me like if they just did that for everybody, it's like you just throw 20 charges and see which one sticks. And that's not. I didn't think that was like a precedent. I thought you had to pick. I thought that's why it was such a big deal to pick what type of murder you want to charge somebody with, like, all right, we're going because you always hear
murder. But like the thing is obviously manslaughter was a no-brainer.
Yes,
right?
But I'm just saying, like, haven't you ever heard like, they're going for first-degree murder? I think that's going to cause trouble.
He didn't get first. He got second.
No, I'm just talking in general. I'm saying, like, haven't you ever heard that where they're like, oh man, they're going for first degree? Like, I think that's a little bit, I think they're getting a little carried away. The guy might get off because you have to prove motive and planning and all this other stuff. I never knew they could go for first, second, third. Yeah. I don't think you're getting my point, which is
no, I am. It wasn't premeditated. Like, he was just being a cop.
No, that's not my point. My point is, I didn't think the precedent was that you could go for multiple types of the same charges. I thought you had to, like, all right, we're going for second degree murder, and that's what we're going for. I didn't know you could start at this top level and work your way down and then hope one.
Well, what was the third charge? It was like, it had like another like stipulation attached to it. What do you know what it was?
No, it was he got charges second degree murder, third degree murder, and manslaughter.
No, but it's like something with intent or like something due to negligence or like I can't remember what it was. But I think ultimately when I look at those charges, if you just say second degree murder, right, that's very broad. You know what I mean? Like, by having of those individual charges, they're more so narrowing, they're more so closing in on the exact type of crime that he committed. And I don't think that it's like, let's say one charge is up to 30 years, one's up to 30 and one's up to like 50, right? Okay. I don't think that it's necessarily like he's going to get 110 years. I think it's that they use those other cases to, like, there may be other cases where people have been charged with these three things completely unrelated, like different situations that occurred, but it still like fits the bill for like more of a precise description of like what the crime was. And due to that, like, you can more accurately sentence the man,
No, I hear you, but like, it seems odd to me that you could get charged with two types of murder for the same crime. Yes. It seems to me like that makes the prosecution's job easier. And it seems to me like it's a little bit unconstitutional. I don't like Derek Chauvin. I believe he belongs in jail, but I just mean for, say I committed a crime or you did, or some random person in the world or in America. I just think our justice system, I thought that a prosecuting attorney had to be more precise in what they wanted to go after. I didn't know they could just say, well, let's just put them on trial for these 5 and see which ones we can get. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird, and it seems a little bit unconstitutional in a way to be able to just say, well, if we can't prove second, then we'll charge them with third. And if we can't prove,
they're just trying to make an example.
I mean, to me, if you read Minnesota second degree murder, that's what he did. I mean, that's
also third,
killing a human intentionally, but without premeditation. Yes, that's what he did. I think he intended to kill the man, and I think that he probably didn't premeditate it, but he decided that he was going to kill him. I think he did. I mean, you saw the way he tried.
What was it? 8 minutes and 46 seconds? Is that?
I mean, let's be real. If there was a video of anybody in America kneeling on a man's neck, white or black, for that long, they wouldn't even question it. There would be no question that the man killed the man on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even a fucking question. But since it's a cop, some people seem to have a fucking problem with understanding that, like, it's fucking common sense. A fucking first grader knows if you kneel on a guy's neck fucking with all your weight, he's going to die after a while, Like,
yeah. Derek Chauvin's murder conviction is trouble for the 3 cops who watched it happen. Former Minneapolis police officers Tao, Thomas Lane, and J. Alexander Kuhn are being treated as accomplices to Chauvin's crimes by the state. Each man is charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Had Chauvin been found not guilty, the 3 other cops would likely have walked free.
Yeah, obviously, because how can you abate a second-degree murder that didn't happen? So yeah, I'd say that they deserve some punishment. I mean,
they were acquaintances.
They were accomplices to it in a way. Yeah,
accomplices, but that was the word I was looking for.
I would say that, I mean, I kind of like, because it goes to the root of the problem, which is like, I don't believe all, like, here's my thing, is like the way policing is set up these days is like, even if if there are some good cops out there, they have no wiggle room to actually like make any positive changes in their departments. You got police unions that if you create any problems, you just get kicked off the force and they replace your ass. You know what I mean? So there's no accountability amongst police with each other. They just have each other's back no matter what. And it is kind of a good precedent to set to say, look, if your fucking police partner's doing something really bad and you don't fucking stop it, then you can get in trouble too, which is a good precedent. I think cops should be responsible for each other as well. Just like if you're driving in my car and fucking shoot somebody out the window, I'm fucking going to jail too, So
exactly, you're an accomplice.
Exactly. So I'm supportive of that. What is the term? What is the years in prison for abating a second-degree murder? Well, my thing is too, like, how can you get charged? This is what I don't get about the Derek Chauvin conviction is how can you get charged? It seems like you're getting charged multiple times for the same crime. Like, okay, second-degree murder. Okay, you get him on that. How can you then also get the guy for third degree and manslaughter for the same action? Like, to me, it seems a little.
Well, that's why there's going to be he's already filed an appeal.
It seems odd to me that you could get charged, that you could get convicted of second and third degree murder for the killing of one person. I agree. I thought that was crazy. I was like, it's either going to be manslaughter or murder, but it was all 3. Yeah. Hold on. Next segment. Title of the article: Trump's mob boss problem could send him to prison. Georgia's racketeering statute is more flexible than the federal version. And it's funny, the article I'm looking at has Trump on one side and Tony Soprano in the pool with the cigar in the other. All right, I'm going to read this real quick. Despite what some critics may say, former President Trump isn't a mob boss, but he's got mob boss kind of problems. It's called a RICO, a law originally drafted a half century ago to go after organized crime that's now getting sized up for a former president. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis is examining whether to apply her state's version of the law, the Georgia Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act, known as Georgia's RICO, to the Trump team's attempts to reverse his 2020 electoral defeat in the state. And again, it's a long article, but basically, I mean, do y'all get what that means? Yeah, he could be facing RICO because, what was the crime again? Sorry, I was reading about fucking getting charged with multiple murders in Minnesota. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, basically, what they're saying is Trump is like, he's facing RICO charges like fucking Tony Soprano. But what was the crime? Like, what's he getting mixed up with? I mean, surely there has to be some sort of organized
Fulton
crime.
County District Attorney Fannie Wills is examining whether to apply her state's version of the law, the Georgia Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, known as Georgia RICO, to the Trump team's attempts to reverse his 2020 electoral defeat in the state.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's bogus, and he's never going to go to jail for that. I think
Of course he's not. It's just like, but that's what they're saying.
See, I think RICO laws are unconstitutional anyways. I think it's a big fucking crock of shit. I think that if you can't prove that an individual committed a crime, then they have no business going to jail just because they're associated with known criminals or people who do get convicted. I think it's a big crock of shit, and it's a lazy justice system just trying to make it easy to throw away organized criminals, which is, sorry, that's not how the American justice system is supposed to work. You're not supposed to go to jail just for being an associate of somebody who's involved in organized criminality, you know? So in my opinion,
I agree.
In my opinion, RICO laws are fucking stupid. It's just ridiculous.
I don't think they're stupid, but when it comes to, the mafia,
I think if you had told the founding fathers, hey, what do you think about these RICO laws? Like, how about if we just arrest people who are involved with other people who we know are committing crimes? I think they'd say that's fucking retarded and that's not freedom and that's bullshit. That's what I think. You know what I mean? So I think I agree with you. I think it's unconstitutional.
It's time for announcements and shouts, TIZZ fam. I want to give a big happy motherfucking birthday to my boy Kelly Losi. His birthday was today, Sunday, the 18th. He turned 31. K-Dog, my boy. Also got to give a shout out to Marissa Ramey. Her birthday was on the 22nd.
It's my old man's birthday today.
Oh, shit. What up?
Yeah.
Mr. Toowoketogobroke. Pretty good.
Toowoketogobroke Senior.
Exactly. Oh, yes, of course. My mother, that's his mother, her birthday is on the 30th of this month. She is turning, I'm not going to say how old, but I love my mother. And I got to give a shout out to my boy Bronson Powell, who is no longer with us. He's been gone since 2007. His birthday is on April 29th.
Oh, nice.
He's been gone for 14 years.
Dang.
Something like that. Yeah, it's 13 to 14 years. Yeah.
Getting old, man. It doesn't seem that long ago, but shit.
I know. I'll never forget. I'll never forget that shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Just speaking about time warps, is like, are y'all having trouble placing the time on anything before Corona? I'm like, was that at the beginning of Corona? Or was that like 6 months before Corona? I can't even remember like anything.
What was what?
Just anything like deals I've made.
And I'm even more fucked up because like came back like the second semester and this has been like my first semester this year and it just added another layer of complete fuckery to my fucking sense of time.
Like I'm saying, like TIZZ, like, okay, just think of a deal you made like kind of in the moment, like or just anything that's happened to you in the last 2 years. To me, it's like hard to replace. Like, was that happening during Corona? Or was that before Corona? Like, what was that?
Oh my
like?
God. I mean, when Charlie died, I was a mess. And that was before Corona.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was. See, like, exactly. That was.
And then when Corona hit, like all my business deals fell apart. They're coming back now.
We start the year over at 1 BC before Corona. AC.
Rest in peace to the boy Red CR, Reggae Everyday, Costa Rica, Charlie Ugando. He taught me a lot, and I miss the guy every day. But without him in my life, I wouldn't be who I am, and I wouldn't even be doing this podcast. And shout out to ASAP Rocky, because one of my favorite new age rappers. I think he's one of the best in my opinion. But that's not the point. It's announcements and shouts. But
I think I might make my own fake news show. I think I might have to start.
Be your co-anchor.
All right, that sounds good, man. Yeah, I think that'd be tight, man. What's another news story, man? What else you got for us?
Wait, before I do the news story, I got to give a shout out to the sponsors, obviously. So, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at Anchor.
It's the TIZZ Talk Podcast. It's the TIZZ Talk Podcast.
Thank you, Anchor, for everything you do for the TIZZ Talk Podcast. We couldn't do it without you. Now back to the show. Other articles, and unless you guys have one you want to talk about, but I have some cool shit I want to talk about.
No, what you got?
I got nothing.
Okay, well, y'all didn't do your homework. That's fine. Okay, so the title of this article is "The Race to Patent Psychedelics is Just Getting Started."
Oh gosh.
Psychedelics now appear in patent applications for Philip Morris e-cigarettes. I don't know how to periodontal disease, hair loss, weight loss, and food allergies. I'm going to keep going a little bit. The author and the podcast host, Tim Ferriss, has done his share of heavy lifting. And when I say heavy lifting, I mean he's a bitch. He's a light lifter. When it comes to supporting and promoting research on psychedelic drugs, he's invested millions of his own and also organized half the $17 million in commitments it took to start up the Johns Hopkins Center for Psychedelic and Conscious Research.
I love it. I love it.
While his efforts highlight the reality that psychedelic therapy, like any other medical treatment, requires a significant amount of money for research, Ferriss recently tweeted his apprehension about a side effect of the growing money-generating psychedelic market. Quote unquote, here we go. I am very concerned by the patent land grab warming up in the for-profit psychedelic world. He wrote, asking publicly if there was any coalition of pro bono lawyers who would intervene, quote unquote, when companies attempt to secure broad patents that could hinder scientific research, reasonable competition, and so on, question mark.
Yeah, I would say number one, you shouldn't be able to patent a naturally occurring substance, first of all. Now,
I totally agree with that. I totally
if
agree.
you want to make a synthetic, like if you want to make a synthetic version of something, then fine. Like if you want to make Marinol, which why would you take Marinol instead of just fucking getting real weed? But fine, if that's what your doctor wants to prescribe you, then fine, you can patent that shit. Now, he does have a point, though, because a lot of psychedelics are synthetic to begin with, right? Like LSD is made, in a laboratory setting. You don't just grow LSD, So some of the components are natural, but so that could be patented, I guess. And that's bullshit. I mean, if something's been around for a certain amount of time as well and is in the public domain.
No, I actually just had a fucking assignment on this in my business law class. Not necessarily about psychedelics, but about patent law. And this would not qualify for a patent because it's not a novel idea. It's not. That's
yeah,
the biggest.
but like a company like we said, they made a patent on Marinol, right, which is synthetic marijuana. Like they made a patent on, and they could come up with all sorts of designer drugs, which I guess you could, you have a generic, after 10 years, companies can make generics of a patented drug. I guess that's what you call it. Like Viagra.
Yeah, but those are usually novel.
God damn, good fucking. Yeah.
Any designer.
Two CI is That shit's
awesome.
great. That shit's crazy.
It's pretty awesome, but I don't advise taking it. One of the few drugs that's awesome. I gotta say, I had the funniest experience in a movie that I'll ever have on 2CI with it was me, B Smart, fucking Juice Man, Courtney James, and Dusty, and I think Casey Bassett was there. One other, what was that other guy's name? He was a short guy, went to Bel Air with curly hair. Anyway,
Blake.
No. Damn, I can't think of his name. But anyways, we took TCI and we went to see Spider-Man like 2 or 1 or something. Dude, funniest movie I've ever seen in my life, dude. Like, I don't know how we didn't get. It was like Spider-Man, like 1 or 2.
With the original one.
It was where he was like all sad and he was walking on some roofs and it was like raindrops keep falling on my head. Dude, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard. I don't know how we didn't get kicked out of the theater. People kept shushing us, but nobody like got up and told the manager because we were manic, bro. Like it was like
what were y'all on?
It was like psych ward type of
2CI. You really can't find it anymore. It's a psychedelic that you can get it, but I don't even know.
You can just order it online.
It's like salvia, like
and acid mixed together. Yeah, it's like salvia and acid because it kind of like doesn't dissociate you, but like things will be normal, and then all of a sudden they'll go kind of batshit like wild, and then like it's just hard to explain. It's like mixing a lot of different.
It's fun to do with other people.
Oh yeah, you have to be with other people, otherwise you'll go fucking crazy.
It was a blast. Like we were all taking it for like.
Do not do that shit by yourself.
But man, it was so funny. I mean, we were like psych ward laughing, bro. Like you know that high pitch, like like you know where you just can't stop and your stomach hurts and like I mean.
Well, that reminds me when we took the mushrooms at A-Train's house that one time we all lit that trash bag on fire and it was like Star Wars, like choo 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 choo. It was insane.
Dude, if I could take a time machine and revert to like any experience, it would be going to that movie theater and seeing that shit on TCI again, dude. It was like straight up fear and loathing status. Like it was like, dude, we were mental head, like we were out of our minds, and just could not stop laughing, dude. The whole movie from beginning to end was just fucking hilarious, man. Like, I remember some guy in the movie goes, "Oh yeah, real funny,"
because it obviously wasn't funny. Y'all just were fucking.
Well, Jared, you never take it to CI. It's like another planet.
I don't know if you remember any of those Spider-Man movies. I think it might have been the first one because like Uncle Ben dies or whatever.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, that's
he's like he's like talking to him like through like the sky or whatever. Like it's all like, you know, like he's talking to him from like, you know, like the ghost world, if you will. Like, you know, he's having like a thought about Uncle Ben talking to him. And it was just so funny, but it was supposed to be like a serious, like heartfelt moment.
I'm not gonna lie, Tobey Maguire is a fucking douchebag.
I don't know anything about him, but I'll tell you, I'll forever be appreciative of him just because of that.
I got an article in Toowoketogobroke. You're gonna love this. Title of this article: "The people the suburbs were built for are gone."
Yeah, I agree.
I saw this article. I didn't read it.
A new book documents the retrofitting of obsolete suburban malls, box stores, office parks, parking lots, motels, and more. I'm going to keep going just a little more. Last summer, Donald Trump and Ben Carson, then Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, blinded, and opted in the Wall Street Journal, promising to protect American suburbs, describing how they reversed policies that would allow for creation for for creation of denser living structures in areas zoned for only single family homes. Now I'm not done. Hold on. Quote unquote. America's suburbs are a shining example of the American dream, where people can live in their own homes in safe, pleasant neighborhoods, is what they wrote. But the suburbs, in the sense of the idyllic American pastoral Trump and Carson reference, have been changing for some time. Not necessarily the physical homes, stores, roads, and offices that populate, but the people who live there, along with their needs and desires. Previous mainstays of suburban life are now missed.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm not done. That the middle class or the bulk of people are young families who value privacy over urban amenities like communal spaces, walkability, and mixed-use properties.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you know about this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that Knoxville is one of the last places where it's not a huge geographic area, so that's one reason, but probably has one of the largest suburban success stories right now, which is the whole town of Farragut. Is, you know, it's not a huge area, but it's a decent sized area and it's thriving, right? But in cities like Houston, where you had Cinco Ranch and Katy and all these different areas,
yeah, like Sierra Plantation,
they're turning into what would be considered by the same people who created these communities as kind of getting ghetto, right? Because more people are moving into the cities, moving out of the suburbs, and as the people that they were trying to get away from, and I'm not saying I support it, but I'm just saying, you know, these communities were lily white at one point, and now they're becoming more and more integrated as people from the inner cities are moving out into the suburbs, as it's more affordable than buying housing in the city, right? So they're getting exactly what they didn't want, right? And so that's going to speed up the white flight out of the suburbs and push them back into the cities, and then outside the cities are going to become the new places of inner city angst, if you will, you know?
Right. I agree with that. I do. And now I live in the inner city.
Yeah. Which is not, it's going to be strange because how are you going to over police areas that are way more spread out and don't have as big of police departments, right? Like the inner cities, it was easy for them to focus all these resources on these hugely populated, dense inner city areas that were quote unquote, you know, full of crime and drug activity. Well, that's where all the over policing would take place. Now it's going to be spread into these smaller departments, which I think, fuck them, you know, good, you know, but it's just, it's going to be interesting to see the shift as far as what happens in most major cities, because it's happening nationwide right now.
It is. And
there's not one place where the inner city isn't growing. And
no, you're right. And that's the thing, is like, we're in a very transitional state.
Yeah, we are. We're in a gentrification of cities right now, of what used to be urban areas where well-to-do people didn't go or live. Now it's the hipster areas that are growing and thriving the most. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
It really is. It really is. And that's why I brought it up, because, you know, you're in that industry, but I mean, I'm on the commercial side, but
I'm in a little bit of a bubble here because we're just such a homogenous society here in East Tennessee. There's not that much, sadly, I mean, there's not that much culture, right? Which is which makes for it can make for pluses and minuses. You know what I mean? It's easier to overlook a lot of these things because they don't seem to be happening here as much. But you just use common sense, and you can kind of figure out what's happening in the rest of the nation. You know.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. Jared or J-Dog, what do you have to say about that?
Dude, I kind of zoned out there for a second. But...
It's okay.
Well, basically,
it's okay.
we're talking about there's a bit of a white flight going on from the suburbs, and the inner cities are becoming more and more hipster and gentrified. And
dude.
And just kind of what's going to be the fallout of that.
All of these quote unquote opportunity zones that the government has deemed where there are incentives for people to develop and to own property. All of these areas are going to be very, very, very well, like I wouldn't say like very gentrified in the future, you know, like
yeah,
it's becoming so expensive to live in the inner city of Houston that people
not me
cannot afford it, and they have the option to either sell their land and their property to somebody who's going to give them a good amount of money, but who has really deep pockets to where it doesn't even dent what they can afford, so that they can develop in these inner cities, and then these people all relocate to the cheaper areas in the suburbs. Yeah,
exactly. Suburbs are becoming the new instead of like, it's funny, it's like they built projects, but they weren't your normal high projects. They were just communities full of thousands of the exact same fucking house over and over again, cheaply built, right? Like,
and I think Corona has almost exacerbated that in a sense.
Oh, it has tremendously. I mean,
absolutely.
Inventory is low, and the laymen who don't understand the market right now are trying to. Some people, I hear them comparing what's happening now to 2008. It's like, no, this is the exact opposite of what happened in 2008. The only similarity is housing prices are going up, but it's an inventory problem. It's a demand problem, and it's not going to change anytime soon. It's also a materials problem because the cost of building a new home.
And there's another kind of issue to this as well, and that's there are certain cities, like for example Texas and Houston in particular, who now have opened up, and then there's other states in the US where things are pretty much still shut down, and a lot of people are sick and tired of their businesses being shut down. They're relocating to states that are more open, that were already, like Houston, that were already seeing economic growth, but this influx of people from outside of Texas now coming to Texas to set up shop is making that problem even worse, because the people that do have money, they want to live more in the city, and so there's only so much supply that can go around. Thus the people who prices go up, and the people who can't afford it are forced to go out into the outskirts.
And what's funny
all I gotta say is fuck Austin. I would never live.
You know what's funny, man, is there's like a new form of redlining going on right now. There's a new fad in residential. Now, we don't have it going on here yet, but we will, I can guarantee you. And I've seen it a couple times. But in Texas right now and in California, it's been the norm for a little while now. And that's kind of moving.
At least a decade or two.
Well, no, but here, this is what I'm talking about. It seems very innocuous at first. People are writing letters when they make an offer on a home, right? To the seller, like telling them who they are and why they want their house and shit. Well, there's kind of some funny fallout from that, because people in Austin don't want all these Californians moving into Austin right now, right? And so there's been this like push of locals writing letters saying, hey, I'm from Austin. I've been living in Austin. I want to buy your house. Like, don't sell it to a fucking Californian.
Keep it in the tribe, dude. That's what the Jews do with their networking. And that nobody get mad at me. I am a Jew myself. Like
I am too, and I have a right to say it.
No, but I mean, dude, it's crazy, man. And you know what? It's such a seller's market right now. The fact that people are writing letters, it puts them in more of a submissive situation from the get-go.
It does. It really does. 100%.
They really want the housing, and the guy who's selling it can sell it to a number of people, and as a result, people are selling their homes for good prices right now.
Well, what's funny too is it's another form of another opening for discrimination of all kinds, right? It's like now not only can you be discriminated, people are sending a fucking picture of their family and shit. It's like, so then you get to actually see who's making an offer on your home, which
it's very biased.
It adds another level to the salesman, to the selling of a house that really shouldn't be there. Like it shouldn't matter who the fuck's buying your house. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we all want to sell.
This is another question I have. Do you think this affects the commercial market in a sense with tenant rep? Like, do you think that tenants are having?
It depends on what industrial, office, like it's a big.
Let's go with retail and office.
Okay, then no, they're totally fucked right now.
Well, I would say, right? Tenants are it's a landlord's market, is what you're saying, right?
No, not at
all. It's a tenants market because landlords and
because of Corona
retail want to get a deal done as fast as possible because they're sitting on so much.
That is true.
Space.
That is true.
Now, industrial, which is what I focus on, has stayed steady all the way through this.
Yes. I'd say that what we were just talking about has probably nothing to do with commercial except for maybe multifamily, but that doesn't really, I will say, multifamily is the only place where, I think you're going to see a massive, massive, massive investment beginning. It's already started, but
well, the good thing about that is I don't like that's like more of a residential thing. But
guys, I had to mute my mic. I just killed a massive cockroach.
But I help solidify, the purchase of the commercial land for these. Residential projects.
And as you know, Houston's been blowing up with mid-rises and high-rises and all that. But a lot of these mid-markets are just starting, like here in Knoxville and a lot of cities like us that have like maybe around 1 million people in the greater area. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a wide area, So
it's Houston is the closest and most comparable city to Los Angeles.
Yeah. Oh, it is 100%. Yeah, it definitely is.
Freeways everywhere.
It's becoming a trendy place too, like how LA was super trendy.
All over the fucking place.
Like there's a lot of
but the weather
young
sucks
people
here. But they have cool beaches and mountains and shit.
It's like shittier.
It's better landscape, but it's
a shittier version of LA.
It's a shittier version of LA. 100%. Yeah. And that's sad. But
politically, probably not. We don't have that homeless fucking issue, or at least as bad as of a homeless issue as they have. There's a lot of negatives.
That's a whole different.
Well, it's also a little bit unfair. I got to say this. I mean, I'm not a California lover, but it is a little unfair.
I am a San Diego lover.
Well, I'm just saying I love a lot of things about California, but I'm just saying politics. There's some issues, right? But it is a little unfair because if you were homeless, where the fuck would you fucking travel to? California. The weather's perfect.
The weather's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, it's 70 degrees all day.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of homeless
what better place to be if you're homeless?
Exactly. Or
living in a tent, or it doesn't matter. But what my love is with San Diego.
What's weird? What's weird right now is that prices are going sky high in California at the same time. Now, it's a little overblown how big of an exodus there is. I think most of the exodus is actually in Los Angeles. People act like people are just leaving the entire state in droves. I think they're really just leaving LA for the most part.
They're leaving Silicon Valley.
And Silicon Valley, but I think LA is having huge exodus in certain neighborhoods.
So one of my biggest competitors, CBRE, Commercial Real Estate, they just moved their headquarters from downtown LA to Dallas.
Yeah. Wow. And so, well, it's funny that you have people leaving a state at the same time prices are going sky high in that same state, So it's like that's how low supply is in residential housing right now. Is that even though numbers
Oh
wise, more people
no.
are,
Even in commercial, I've done several deals in California. It's a fucking landlord's market because
yeah,
there's
it's
just,
crazy what percentage of residential properties we're at right now. Like where I'm at, I'm not shitting you. We're at like 35-40% of normal inventory.
yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's here. I got one more article, and then we'll run this. We'll end it. But anti-maskers are trying to recruit people of color so they don't look racist. Now hold on, I'm not done. Despite making common ground, racist agitators, some within the anti-lockdown movement are desperate to distance themselves from the far right, meaning the motherfucking Bloods.
I can kind of relate to this in a little bit because I'm not necessarily anti-mask, but
Anti-maskers are attempting to recruit people of color in order to defend the movement from accusations of being far right or accusations of being a Blood.
well, look, I look at social media as a way to gauge certain groups of people because right now the far right and the far left are the loudest on social media. You can look at any fucking post on TikTok, anything. I don't care how innocuous it is. If it has a lot of views, the commentary is fuck you liberals, you want to wear your fucking masks versus your dumbass Trump supporter. I mean, that's all it fucking is, right? But you get a quick take on what these people are about on both sides, and to me, they're all batshit crazy.
The attempts come unsurprisingly after a few months of bad press for the anti-lockdown movement. As of late, some within the group have been elevating long-standing far-right agitators like Kevin Johnson, who once faced hate crime charges and recently marched with the tiki torches in Edmonton in an apparent nod to the Charlestonville white supremacist rally.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a big group of right-wingers that have been anti-mask and anti-shutdown for a very long time, since the beginning of this shit. And I have to say, the longer this shit's dragged on, the more, I mean, look, I was never pro lockdown. I think the lockdown was fucking stupid. I think they should have just told everybody to fucking wear masks from the beginning.
Here's my opinion. They didn't know how to react to it. They didn't know what to do. They had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, but for like 3 weeks they told us not to wear masks. You know what I mean? It was just a shit show. But
right.
But here's my point: is like they're taking a valid concern and just overly politicizing it, right? And the only people that are vocal right now about it are either people who really drank the Kool-Aid and want everybody to wear masks and everything to fucking stay shut down, or people on the other side that don't want to wear masks no matter what the fuck they're doing. Like, even if they're in a big fucking
Crips and Bloods.
Exactly. And so there's like very little middle ground right now, or at least the middle ground is not vocal about, well, let's have a little bit of both. It's like you either have people calling the other people idiots or the other people saying you're a bunch of sheep wearing masks, They're both right. Like, you can, there's a middle ground there where, like, you don't have to fucking kill people's businesses and like fucking say that you can't have, certain types of entertainment and this, that, and the other. But it's really not that huge of an inconvenience to wear a mask while the shit's still raging on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you, but if I'm in a really fucking crowded
Look,
place.
here's the thing that pisses me off, right? You know those fishing sun guard like neck things, those masks I'm talking about, like the buffs?
Yeah, everyone's wearing that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Those don't protect from dog shit. Like those
Yeah,
do not
exactly.
protect you whatsoever. Like
I agree.
But guys, like
And-
I
and
said before, this is not
there's
a
just no
pandemic.
point. The most of the
It's
masks
not
that
an
people are
epidemic.
wearing.
It's a fucking endemic. This is like the flu. It's not going anywhere. We're gonna have to get our yearly shots, like the flu.
Well, lines are getting blurred because here's my opinion. The hypocrisy, I talk a lot of shit about the right just because like sometimes it's just so fucking obvious, the hypocrisy. But here's a hypocrisy of the left right now, which is, dude, how are you going to be
the hypocrisy of the fucking
Crips?
the fucking
So how are you
Crips.
gonna be pro-choice and then fucking demand that people take a vaccine that isn't even fucking like FDA approved yet? You know what I mean? Like it's
right.
like,
And that's why I haven't
can't-
taken it, because I'm waiting on all you guys to turn into zombies.
yeah, I mean, it's still a choice that needs to be made. Like, I don't think everybody should have to fucking take a vaccine. And the sad thing is,
It needs to
pretty
be
s-
development. It needs to be developed more further.
well, the sad thing is
I got
they're
my
going
first
to
dose last week.
they're gonna force it on all
was
of us if
forced
you
to.
ever want to travel, because it's a matter of like pretty
Well,
soon you're not gonna be,
cruise ships will, but airlines are not going to force that.
it doesn't matter though. The country you go to is going to demand it. So unless you have
well,
some
no,
fucking,
but if you're flying domestic, it's okay.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you ever want to travel in your life again out of the country, you're gonna have to take the fucking vaccine. That's a fact. Like that is coming.
That's why I don't have any plans on leaving the country and anytime soon. And the bottom line is, I'm not getting a vaccine until I make sure y'all don't turn to zombies.
I hear you, dude. I mean, I feel like I don't want my mom calls me at least twice a week. Have you taken the vaccine? Have you? And I'm like, no, I haven't taken the vaccine yet, because it's just like,
No,
like
my mom
100
says the same shit. I said, Mom, I'm not going to do it. You took yours. Great. I'm not anti-vax, but I don't want to sit and have to hear a commercial 3 years down the line being like,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
if it, did you take the
Exactly.
Pfizer vaccine? You might be eligible for fucking lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. Did your dick fall off? Like, oh yeah, it did. It's yeah, no, I don't want that shit either, man. Like, and I feel like it's coming. I don't know if it's gonna be all of them,
Well, they just did it so fast.
and it's all new. And it's all new science. And it's like, dude, like, I'm not trying to be a guinea pig. I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm not gonna be the guy to go take the first. I don't even buy a car in its first year. You know what I'm saying? It always got problems the first year.
I'm
car
sitting
comes
on
out.
the sidelines, and I'm going to make sure that, have y'all seen, I Am Legend
I have not actually.
with
Big
Will
Willie
Smith?
style. Yeah.
You never saw that movie?
Uh-uh.
So the whole premise of it is like they supposedly found the cure to cancer, and then it turned everybody into zombies.
Oh. So
And
yeah, I mean that sounds like, it's I think you're right. I think that at least one of these
they might not turn into zombies, but it's
no,
like,
obviously you're just saying that hyperbole, but I'm just saying I think there's going to be at least one of these vaccines that has been given to millions and millions of people that is going to have some major health consequences.
well, obviously J&J has already had mad,
And the government lied about it. They did. They said there was
of course
5.
they did.
Well, they said there was 5 instances of people that had major blood clotting. It's like, don't give me that bullshit that you
And
pulled
I've
the
had
vaccine.
and I've had blood clots. I almost died from blood clots. They got to my heart. You know what I mean?
And it's
like
and it's like, don't bullshit me that you pulled a vaccine over 5 cases. Like, we know that you know of a lot more.
The health benefits outweigh the fucking 6 people or 7 people that got the blood clots.
Exactly. And it's like they're full of shit. You know, way more people got it than that. Like, you know it, because they wouldn't pull
But
anything.
if
over
I do
five.
get it, I'm getting Moderna. I've already made my mind. Yeah.
So I
Because
don't
it's
know,
the
man.
only supposedly it's the only vaccine that's protective against all, because Pfizer is not protective against the South African strain.
And that's the shit that's
I got
pissing me off.
Pfizer.
They're fucking setting us up to be taking this shit on a yearly basis and forcing it down our throat.
Like I said, it's called an endemic. It's not going anywhere.
Oh,
It's like
also think about how much money these vaccine companies are making. Think about all the
making a killing.
groups.
I fucking made
Think
a killing
about how much
on
fucking money they're
Pfizer
gonna make.
calls. I made a killing on Pfizer calls last week.
Big Pharma has their hand in our politics a lot.
Oh yeah, especially Joe Biden. He's been an insurance, big healthcare guy for a long, long time. He's a part of the reason that Obamacare sucks and didn't accomplish the goal that was set out, which was to fucking basically put these insurance companies in their fucking place. But it didn't happen at all because, you know, big money insurance and big money pharmaceuticals stepped in.
It just proves the point that they're just all puppets anyway.
Exactly. And that's what I'm pissed off about, is like, this thing's been so politicized that people act like if you don't want to take the first fucking vaccine that came out in a rush, like you're some sort of fucking conspiracy theorist. It's like, no, that's common sense in my opinion.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just, you know, they develop these vaccines so quickly. It's like, they're not perfect.
No. And there's always been nasty shit in vaccines.
Right. And so what I'm saying is, like, I'm going to wait and just make sure, you know.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you, dude.
You know
it's just like, fuck that shit. Like, how are you going to tell me that a vaccine's safe when you don't even know what the long-term consequences of fucking COVID are?
Because
you know what I mean?
Don't know. Nobody knows. That's the fucking problem.
So it's like, hey, we don't even know what this disease is going to do to you long term, this virus is going to do to your body long term. But let's introduce it in the form of a brand new vaccine. What if it's like
shingles, dude?
What?
What if it's like shingles?
Exactly. So you take this
vaccine, Jared,
and 10 years later.
It could be anything.
But no, he has a point that something can be dormant.
Shingles, but it could be anything. I mean, it could cause you cancer.
Yeah, but he's just saying, like, you could have this thing in your system for years and it seems innocuous, and then all of a sudden 10 years later it explodes into some problem like shingles, you know, like it's like
why I'm waiting for the long-term results.
Exactly. And I'm right there with you, man. I'm just like, fuck a bunch of that shit.
I sadly was actually forced to get a vaccine. My parents told me I can't come home if I don't get one, and my school's gonna make us get them for next year anyways. And I was just like, you know what? I'll pick my battles. Fuck it. I was so adamant. I tried for a few days and I was just like,
you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But you know what? You're an adult now and you have the right to say no.
I know, but I don't want to deal with those issues. And I know.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing that's crazy is a lot of these, that's who's setting themselves up. The government's going to protect these vaccine makers from getting sued. But any company or place that makes you take it, they're setting themselves up for a lawsuit if this shit ends up going bad with these vaccines.
Oh, dude, when J&J had that shit, I bought into Pfizer and I killed it.
Yeah, but these companies are not going to get sued. The government will not let these vaccine companies get sued.
Right, that's why, when it comes to stocks, I mean,
no, but when it comes to actual companies demanding it of their employees or demanding it of students and they're setting themselves up for a class action lawsuit if this shit goes bad. Because a lot of people are going to step up and say, well, I wasn't going to take the vaccine, but you motherfucking made me take it, and go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if I can't get on a flight because I'm not vaccinated, I'll raise all hell and I will super kick the motherfucker who's giving me shit to Jupiter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a kind of a fucked up situation that that they're putting us in with this fucking vaccine shit. And
I mean,
there's
crazy.
a lot.
It's
There's stuff
crazy.
to weigh on both sides of the equation, though.
There is.
There are, and I'm not disagreeing that it's a bad thing, but like, I'm waiting. I want to see what
There's
happens.
a lot of uncertainty. However, it is necessary.
The fact of the matter is if the fucking country lets you in, then fucking go for it. You know what I mean? I mean, what are you gonna do? Sit at home on the fucking couch and cry about it? I don't know.
No, just go sit by yourself, but on a nice beach in the Maldives, you know.
Exactly.
Well,
man.
and I agree with that.
Here's the thing: is if nobody travels, then guess what happens to these poor Maldivian people who work at a fucking resort? They don't eat. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about third world countries here where people like are happy to have their fucking job.
Bro, that's why all these third world countries are like, come here.
Exactly.
We'll give you.
By the way, the Maldives have some of the best surf.
We'll pay
in the
for your
world.
plane ticket.
The Maldives have some of the best surfing in the world.
So, I mean, it's like, look, it's like a shutdown by default. A lot of these places didn't even want to shut down, but everyone was like locked down here. And so they didn't travel. And so it's like
that Diamond Princess shit again, all over again.
Some of these
all these resorts got to pay off their mob bosses, dude.
Yeah, exactly, man. And so it's like, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Great 2020.
Yeah, you might spread a virus, but you might also help some poor people.
You might also might not be killed by some cartel in Mexico, you know?
Yeah, and you might help some locals fucking eat. I mean, that's the truth of the matter, you know? It's like, I'm sorry, but if nobody goes to tourist destinations, then they fucking dry up.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
They go under, dude. They can't pay their bills. They default on their loans, and it's like a tumbling house of cards from there.
Yeah, and that's why I think
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and that's why it's like the government is either absolutely incompetent or the planet for some reason needed an injection of fucking cash. We'll never know.
Well, that's why, dude. I've seen multiple ads. I swear to God, in the past week, that have been like serious from travel websites that have popped up on my like browser, saying that like if you stay for this many nights, we'll pay for your travel, we'll pay for this, we'll pay for that. They're throwing in free nights, like all of these really, really high quality resorts in Mexico where people were like having to book these things a year in advance before COVID. Like now these people are literally going to treat you like you're a fucking king to just come visit them, you know? Like they're gonna roll out the red carpet for you to make the choice to go on vacation.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'll tell you what I think probably suffered a lot, and maybe I don't know, maybe I just think too much, but for a while there during the pandemic and shit, like when it was, you know, when shutdowns were happening, people really weren't going out to eat and stuff. I was like, I will not go to a sushi restaurant right now because I know that they ain't selling all their fish. And they're going to try and stretch that shit an extra week or two. It's going to be bad.
Of course they are.
That's so true.
Especially Oishi, that cheap ass place right next to my apartment.
That's my favorite fucking sushi place, dude. So good.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so everybody, TIZZ Talk fam, thank you so much for listening to episode 30 motherfucking 2. I got my co-host Toowoketogobroke and I got the boy J-Dog Jared on the line. Let's start with Jared. Give your peace out.
Peace out.
That's it.
Keeping it simple, baby.
Well,
peace
the
out.
last time
you know what, guys? I'm gonna give a little piece of inspiration here. So, you know, I go to school in New Orleans at a university. Pretty well regarded private university.
I mean, honestly, they probably know what it is.
Yeah, it's the most well guarded university in New Orleans, and
okay, so you don't.
And at this university, my freshman and first semester of sophomore year, I did not have the discipline it took to actually study here. I was put on academic probation, almost failing out. And parents pulled me out for a year. I came home, started some businesses, was really, really gearing
And you
myself
started
towards
hanging
coming
out
back
with the
here.
TIZZ. You started hanging out with TIZZ.
I was hanging out with the TIZZ, and I really changed my mindset and made a ton of sacrifices. This past semester, I have sacrificed so much. I have spent every waking hour of my day consumed with learning, and as a result, it has finally paid off, and I am currently sitting at a 4.0 this semester. But the moral of the story is that life is a slingshot, okay? The further it
No,
pulls
it's
you
more
back.
like a gunshot.
No, it's a slingshot because you got to pull the slingshot back, right? The
Well,
further
you
it
also have
pulls
to
you
pull a
back.
trigger.
Taylor, let me fucking give the analogy,
I'm
please.
just fucking with you.
All right. Life is like a slingshot. The further it pulls you back, the further it's going to propel you forward. But it's your job to make sure that happens.
I like it. I love
Learn
it.
from your mistakes.
Okay. Tua, what you got?
Shit, man. Just DIT and DAT is all there is. You can't have DIT without DAT.
I love the DIT and DAT.
DIT is DAT. DAT is DIT.
That is that
Is
dude.
is that all you got?
That's it, baby.
It's
All
that,
right.
baby.
All right. Well,
That's it.
all right.
I mean,
right.
you say that's it. I just covered everything in the world. That's all there is, bro. DIT and DAT, man.
DIT and DAT. All right. So I'm going to do my thing. And as the TIZZ always says, get your fucking mind correct. And when you get your mind correct, keep it correct. Because that's the hardest part. The TIZZ doesn't ask why. He asks why not. Now I gotta steal a line. I'm gonna do this again. I'm sorry. I know you've heard it. From the words of wisdom of the Stiz with his invisible S. Here we go. Holler at the TIZZ for honor, to getting honor, to staying honor. And if you can't come in her, come on her. Sorry, Stiz, I had to steal it from you. Also, TIZZ Talk fam, please, for the love of TIZZ, go and hit the subscribe button. Tell like one or two people, because these are your legal fucking obligations. Tell like one or two people about this podcast. Give us a 5-star rating. And just keep doing that so we can build this show up.
One more thing. Subscribe to the TIZZ Talk Podcast.
Gentlemen, that is the end of this show. The TIZZ Talk Podcast is out. This is episode 32. Toowoketogobroke, co-host, thank you for being on the show. J-Dog, again, we'll do this soon. But again, I really do appreciate it. And this will be up by tomorrow afternoon.
Word.
All right. Well, then you gentlemen have a good night. And fuck the Bloods and the Crips, because I'm so neutral. I'm purple, baby.
It's the TIZZ